Screamers. Hello and welcome to another Creative Cuppa. A slightly different format from now on, or should I say evolving format. I've had all these chats with amazing guests because I'm fascinated by the common creative threads that run through all creative jobs. The common fears of rejection, the common sheer passion for creating something out of nothing. It seems like those feelings are exactly the same whether you're a composer like me or a photographer or a scriptwriter. I suppose it means next time someone says no, you're not alone. Or if someone gives you some lovely feedback or buys something you've created, that feeling you get is being felt by all sorts of other creative people around the world. Talking of creative people, today's guest is Carolynne Wyper, composer agent. We had a really nice chat over a cuppa about her work and creative life. So it might be a good time to hit the pause button, make yourself a nice cuppa. Enjoy. Carolynne Wyper, agent for composers, directors and screenwriters. Welcome to Creative Cuppa.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Now, you joined forces with your husband back in the 80s to form SMA Talent, your company.
Yeah.
But before that, you had quite a varied career, mostly based around music.
Yes.
What is it about music that attracted you in the first place to make it your career?
I think it's just in my blood, in my DNA. I come from quite a musical family. I say not performers. My grandmother was actually a dancer on the stage.
Oh, wow.
Way back when, yeah. And sort of variety, in the good old days of variety. And I've just always been around theatre, music, drama, and starting off, what do I want to do? Don't know, but something in show business. Got a job as a secretary, which is what girls did in those days. Somebody had to do their typing for them. And that sort of got me into the business and stayed, loved it, and worked my way up through various companies, met lots of lovely people along the way. And, as it goes, you get introduced to people, you change jobs, you go up in the world. And then when I met my husband through the business, it's Olaf Wyper, we carried on sort of working for other people in the business, sometimes together and latterly not, because it was a little bit sort of cheesy. And then he decided he wanted to leave the big companies and do stuff on his own. And I thought, well, let's give it a go to do it together.
Was there a kind of a catalyst moment where you thought, yes, being an agent is the thing?
Not really. We were more on the marketing side of things. Then we had a sort of marketing consultancy, and one of the first jobs we did was the Walker Brothers when they reformed.
Oh, wow.
And they had no regrets. And through contacts of and history with us, they actually, or Scott in particular, wanted Olaf to work on the campaign. So that's where our work was taking us. And then one day we got a phone call from Mike Moran. I don't know if you're aware of Mike.
That name rings a bell.
A lot of people know him because he had a hit with Eurovision.
Oh, wow.
With Lindsay DePaul called Rock Bottom.
Well,
long time ago.
Yeah.
And he was also played with Queen a lot and recorded with Queen, and he produced Freddie. He produced Barcelona, composed it and conducted it when they did live shows, And we'd both known Mike for donkey's years and hired him as a musician. And he phoned up one day and he said, "Can you help me?" He said, "I'm about to turn 40, my partner's pregnant, and my accountant's dropped dead." And he said, wow. "I can handle being 40, I can handle being a dad, but I have no idea about my business. Can you help me? Will you manage me?" So we thought, yeah, why not? It's easy. He's a musician. But little did we know that he was also a film composer. That got us into that side of things. And then a queue started forming to our door of musicians that we knew that weren't represented or were represented by agents, actors who didn't know the first thing about music. I'm generalising here. Yeah. And one thing led to another. And then I decided that I wanted to concentrate on the music side. That was a long time ago now, and sort of slowly built up the business. Well, quickly actually built up the business because nobody was doing what we were doing.
Yes. Well, I was going to say that, you know, clearly you were doing something that attracted the attention of all those people.
Yeah.
To come queuing at your door.
Well, we knew that all these guys from working in studios
yeah.
in record companies and stuff. And it was exciting. It was new. And personally, I loved film. So it wasn't a hardship. It was lovely to get into that world.
That's amazing. So leaping forwards, you recently published a series of videos to Instagram,
Yes.
which were really good. And very candid and honest, giving advice to composers trying to break into the TV and film industry.
Yeah, thank you.
There are misconceptions about what the role of an agent is,
Yes.
which you certainly made clear in your videos. And certainly in the composing world, I don't know what it's like for directors and screenwriters. What do you consider to be the role of an agent?
Well, I believe that I do things slightly differently to a lot of other agents. And so what I believe the role of an agent is, and what an agent usually is slightly different.
Okay.
Because I come from a background of record companies, music publishing, PR, that sort of thing, and knowing the industry inside out, it's a bit more management and mentoring and promoting, marketing, definitely. That's just second nature to me. And I think the role is to support your clients, for sure. Not kowtow to them, but guide them, lead them. You know, I hope that doesn't sound too sort of posy, but just to sort of, obviously, the business side of things. Yeah. But I think coming from the background that I do, I understand what's possible, what's not possible. And often I can help along the way to sort of make some producers, think outside of the box a little bit. So I don't know if that answers your question.
Yeah, absolutely. No, the leadership thing I definitely relate to because, you know, I became a composer in 2011.
Yeah.
I had absolutely no idea what I was doing. And so to have someone with that kind of experience, it seems natural that leadership is going to be part of those qualities that make you a successful agent.
Yeah. And I think it's very important as well for clients to realise that we're not just about the money in the deal. And I get the impression that a lot of agents, that's really all they're interested in. Yes, of course, it's a business, it's show business, and we have a business and we've got to earn money. But, you know, we take, I keep saying we, it's me because I just do the music side. I take a sort of, see the big picture. And it might take a while to get from A to B, but it's what you do along the way to get there. And making friends and being transparent. And it's not always about the money. Sometimes it's about as I said in my videos, and it's sometimes more about the relationship with the people. If it's a new director, perhaps, or new producer, perhaps, but you get the feeling that they're going to go places and it's a really good script, then, you know, throw your lot in a little bit sometimes.
Yeah. And I suppose when you're a creative worker, like a composer or a screenwriter, you are really concentrating on the minutiae of things.
Yeah.
So to have someone who's stood back looking at the bigger picture for you, that's quite encouraging and reaffirming, I suppose. Yeah,
good. Well, sometimes, you know, as you say, you look at the minutiae as a creative person, and sometimes I have to say to a composer, whoa, look, you're getting paid X for this. Why would you want to spend X plus Y? Because at the end of the day, it's going to be seen, I don't know, some funny old channel, perhaps not too many people. The music 9 times out of 10 is so mixed in low on the track.
Yeah.
You know, come on.
They're the dreamers.
I know. But you have to take it in a nice way. So
yes,
because you don't want to destroy those creative juices.
So my kind of co-producing partner in crime on podcast, Dan Watts, and I had composer Ian Arbour as a guest last year on our podcast, Making a Soundtrack.
Oh, did you? Oh, lovely, Ian.
And he and Dave Rowntree, also part of your roster, composed the soundtrack to the BBC drama The Capture, which is exciting and terrifying in equal measure.
Just?
Brilliant.
It's so believable,
soundtrack.
Isn't it?
Yes, yeah.
Ooh.
because they collaborated on that. How did that come about? Do you find that people on your books naturally collaborate with each other, or has that been something that you encourage and nurture?
A bit of both, really. Dave Rowntree came to us through his partner in life, Michelle de Vries. I don't know if you know Michelle.
Okay, no.
She's a music supervisor. And I've known Michelle for donkey's years when we were both working at... she was working for Tony Smith, a Hit and Run. Tony manages Phil Collins, Genesis, amongst others. And Tony's company was in partnership with our company at the time. And we launched an American office in LA, which was very exciting, courtesy of Mr. Smith. So how did we link up again? I can't remember, to be honest, but it was through Michelle and saying that David wanted to do more soundtrack work. He'd done a little bit. And one thing led to... And then I worked with Michelle for a while, and I think she felt that David would fit in well with what we're doing and personality-wise, because that's so important as well. You know, you've got to get on as people. And you certainly somebody like David, who's had experience with managers and agents from Blur and on that side of things. So we got on very well as people. He obviously felt that he could trust me to represent him. But the problem is he hadn't done that much. And it's very much like America here now, where credits speak volumes. Irrespective, you could be the most brilliant composer on earth. Yeah. But unless you can prove that you've done it a few times, and you know, the pressure, the deadlines, all those things, keeping your mouth shut when you should, and all that stuff. So, I think that's how it happened. And Michelle had worked with Ian on some bits and pieces for Fulwell, which is James Corden's company.
Right, okay.
So we sort of introduced the two guys. They got on like a house on fire, did some experimentation, and decided on how they could work together. So David on with his electronic things and his rhythms and percussion and all that, and Ian with his more experience doing the job and melodic side, and it just seemed it would work, and it did.
Yes, yeah. No, it's a really good pairing, actually, because, yes, like you say, I mean, Ian's probably more orchestral background, Dave more electronica, and that's a really great meeting of styles, isn't it? It's really good.
But curiously, more and more people are collaborating. We do try and encourage that within our little band of people, pardon the pun. But we, since lockdown, we've been having regular Zoom meetings with all our clients, and sometimes, there could be sort of 15 composers gassing, either talking, just generally talking, or sometimes being a bit more serious. Yeah. And so they've got to know each other through that. There's another advantage of lockdown. Yeah. Have started to collaborate because people have had more time on their hands, and some really, really interesting collaborations. To give you an example of something that's recently happened, we've just agreed to represent Jack Severetti.
Oh, wow. Congratulations.
Yes, very, very exciting. And he's working on soundtracks. He's working with Nikolai Torp Larsen.
Okay.
Torp is pronounced Nikolai Torp Larsen. So that's really exciting. And they work together on the record side. And Nico is Jack's MD in the studio. They write together, write songs together, go on the road together, that sort of thing. And he's already done a few movies. So it just, again, seemed a perfect collaboration. Yeah. So I talked to Jack's manager and Nico's manager. And again, that goes back many, many years where we crossed paths before. Yeah. And giving it a go. So this has just happened. We've just got the tracks together. So I'm going to start.
Oh, fantastic. That's really exciting.
Yeah. Yeah, really, really exciting.
And a sort of star-making in a way. You know, you're introducing...
Yeah.
Kind of made that collaboration. So, a few films down the line when he's picking up his Oscars.
That would be nice. That would be nice. But I don't know if you're aware of Jack's music, but his last album that he did, which is called Candlelight, and that track in particular, is so filmic. I mean, it could be Il Postino, it could be Cinema of Paradiso. And I can hear it, I can see it, so can he. That's what we're going to go for, those sort of things.
Yeah, and he's incredibly popular, isn't he?
Looking like that, he would be, wouldn't he?
Yeah. So, smatalent.com is your website. Yeah. Where can people find you elsewhere online?
Oh my God, we're all over the place. We're on all social media platforms all the time. Again, because of lockdown in particular, I just thought it was important just to keep a presence. Just so when the buttons is pressed again, that people probably a bit sort of, in the head, drip, 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 SMA talent, people that don't know us. And also it gives us something to do. It keeps our composers bolstered a little bit, that they're being interviewed, that Little Black Book, we're on quite a lot, interviews with them. Yeah, all the social medias.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, I'll put those links in the show notes for you as well.
Thank you very much.
But for now, Carolynne Wyper, thank you so much for joining me for a cuppa.
You're very welcome. Thank you for having me. Okay.
Thanks again to Carolynne for joining me, and thank you, dear listeners. What's the collective noun for Creative Cuppa listeners? Teas and coffees? Mugs? Bit rude. I'd love to hear your suggestions, so come and say hello on Instagram, Facebook or Twitter, or all of them, using @ScreenlessPod. All of those links are on the website at creativecuppa.uk, and indeed in the show notes right there in your podcast app. Until next time, have a great week.